Morning floppers, hope you're all okay. And thank you to all my new subscribers, that means a lot. Excuse me a sec. Sorry, I've still got a really annoying cough. It just doesn't seem to go away, but anyway, moan about that over. So I'm still waiting for the book. Is anybody still waiting for the book, or is it just me? Because I seem to be the last to know about everything in my life, everything, all my life, and the last to receive things. So I need to know if it's just me. Anyway, so this is from Blind Item. I think Markle News share quite a few of their things. So, as we know, you know that so-called fling the Prince of Wales has with that Rose woman. Now, despite Giles Coran admitting to making it up, Mr. Overseas decided to put it in his book and now seems a bit panicked and wants to try and take it out. So, allegedly, I think I'd done a video about this a while ago. Allegedly, Mrs. Overseas coordinated with Giles to concoct that story up. However, you do get some very, very wealthy, rich children born into certain things like royalty, like Mr. Overseas, who have a problem with their older brother coming first in the pecking order. Now, he should know better than everyone, really, how the pecking order goes, as you know, that's just natural how history, goes up the ranks. So he will never ever be able to mentally get better until he admits his faults, until he admits how he really feels and his anger towards his older brother, his jealousy towards his older brother. Maybe then he's got more of a chance of being mentally sane. Because it's no good him saying, oh, I'm going to therapy, this, that, and the other, or whatever mumbo jumbo he's come out with. He's never going to heal, if you like, when he is the problem. So he, like the other thing, he never wants to, get help. Not really, because he's happy in his jealousy, he's happy with his anger, and that the pair of them are a match made in heaven, really, because they both thrive on drama. So when people tell you, oh, I love drama, that's everything you need to know about that person. They're not to be trusted. So, if he said to his so-called therapist, in inverted commas, I'm jealous of my brother, saying it out is one hell of a relief. Well, it must be. And the therapist will then say to him, well, now we can work together. That's all he has to say to someone. I'm jealous of my brother. It's quite a simple thing to do, but he doesn't want to admit it. The pair of them just continue to want to project everything they are onto everybody else. So as we know, this fling thing was doing the rounds ages ago, but I'll read it out quickly. Little Birds has been whispering in Cockburn's ear. Rumour has it a well-known member of the royal family is set to release a memoir, but the book's publication has been pushed back. Some commentators claim that the legal process could be the cause of the backup, or the fact that the author is scrambling to pull some information out which could be damning for the rest of their family. Sources allege that the book will detail a supposed affair that the author's sibling had, the chapter which goes in depth in the sordid fling. I'm so angry about this. Contains lines similar to, I can't believe my sibling would treat their spouse like this after what our father did to our mother. Well, if it was actually true, then fair enough. We'd back him on this, wouldn't we? Because we'd agree. But it is fact, because this Giles Coran admitted publicly that he made it up. But he didn't say who he was colluding with But we're not stupid. We know how it goes. So the fact that Mr. Overseas had the damn nerve to put a made up story in his book anyway says everything we need to know. And he is literally sick in the head. He will never get, like I keep moaning about, he will never get better until he admits his faults, admits his jealousy of his brother. And Mrs. Overseas narcissist clearly won't ever admit to anything, only if it suits her, and it will be a half truth, as we know. Now, Mrs. Overseas' absolute obsession with the Princess of Wales seems to have been. I saw a quick article, a clip out the book earlier. I don't really want to go into detail about that too much, otherwise I'll bore you all with repeating it probably again when the book arrives, because it's probably in there somewhere, but amongst other things. So me knowing me, I'll just start reading, you'll be like, oh my God, heard this before, and I don't want to do that. But she, as we know, the obsession with the Princess of Wales is getting to the stage of absolute insanity. If there's a word above insanity, please let me know, because I'd like to start using that from now on. But no, that's just not normal behaviour. Anyway, that's that part. Let's have a quick rant about the KK Kate hashtag that has been sickeningly doing the rounds on Twitter for a long time now. And Twitter thinks it's okay. Twitter thinks, oh, that's okay. That's okay, just, basically admit your Nazism. So, everything, how can I put this? Because I do know that there are educated people on the left or left-leaning that know fact from fiction and know what Nazism actually is, instead of throwing the word about at the likes of Trump and people on the right without understanding the actual meaning behind it. So, as we know, Mrs. Overseas likes to project, doesn't she? So her cult followers will want to project because they're just the same. Birds of a feather flock together. That's just sadly the way it goes. So the likes of Mrs. Overseas and her ilk, every time they accuse someone of something, like for example KK Kate, it's an admission. It's an admission to how they are politically, how they are mentally, how they feel, how angry they are all the goddamn time. So they are everything they accuse everybody else of. So this hashtag, I think the royals need to come out and do something about this behind the scenes. Just, send a cease and desist to Twitter or something like that, and just say, look, that is really, really bad and extremely offensive. It needs to be taken down. Highlight of a obsession Mrs. Overseas has towards the Princess of Wales. We know she likes to copy, but again, they're projecting it to the opposite. And by calling her the KK Kate is an admission to how their brains are mentally functioning, how they see the world, because they are that sort of personality, political wise. They are everything they accuse you of. So when people throw around the racism card or the Nazism card, that's just them admitting what they actually are. Because unless you know the real meaning behind Nazism, and not this new modern Nazism, in inverted commas, the real meaning behind the word, it's got God, it's got nothing to do with for example, protecting your country or family from illegal immigration. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing, actually. Mrs. Overseas claims to, want to help women in need and this, that, and the other. Well, I'll have to look back on the article, and I'm not going to click around Twitter now, otherwise you're going to see people's names and people I follow and etc. And I don't want to do that. But it was reported that I think it was a 14-year-old girl was raped by about 6 or 7 illegal immigrants a few weeks ago. Where's your outrage at that, Mrs. Overseas? Where is your outrage at that? Stop cherry picking, love. See, this is what they do. They won't help the people who are actually in need because they don't want to be accused of racism or Nazism. Because if they were educated, they frankly wouldn't give a shit, because they would know the meaning of racism and they would know the meaning of Nazism. So by people coming to our shores, raping our young girls is not racism, is not Nazism. When we speak about it, it's actually coming from the people that are doing it. See, but she doesn't want to be accused of all of that. She wants to be the one that accuses everybody else of racism and whatever else. Just as we know, she's a projector, as narcissists are. So, this angers me when some of these celebrities and people like that come out and say, oh, me too, and this, that, and the other, but totally ignore what's actually really going on in the real world. Totally ignore what's happening to young girls around the world, in the Middle East, in Africa, and in the West. I don't see any outrage at that. It's all cherry picking, isn't it, nowadays? And it's quite sickening and very, very concerning. And we need to wake up. We need to, prioritise what needs to be done properly. And too many people are scared of being accused of this, that, and the other. Well, if you are, so what? So what if you are? It goes to show the person who's accusing you of that is very, very uneducated. So I won't worry about it. Just brush it off and move on. Keep fighting the right cause. Not be a leader, but be a leader in the right direction. Encourage people to go in the right direction, not down a dark rabbit hole full of snakes and uneducated imbeciles that just want destruction for our nations. So this overseas person, Mrs. Overseas, isn't outraged at anything at all. Only if anything upsets her, only if she can't get her own way. They're the only time she'll be outraged. And it's absolutely despicable that Twitter allowed this hashtag to carry on. And I think what we need to do is keep going to the thing on the right where it says trending. If you hover over it, there's 3 little dots on the right. Click it and press spammy or offensive. I think that's the only thing we can do to get it taken down. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening to my massive rant. Hopefully I'll get the book early next week and we can go into that a bit more detail. But for now, thanks for watching and have a good day.